just going through the criticism now, you know, I would say I handle that internally now, you know. Whatever I can use as fuel, whatever I think like, oh, I can use this as fuel for myself, I will. If not, I won't. But I take receipts. I take receipts.
Teflon Tua is keeping receipts.
I take receipts.
After getting the head coaching job, Mike McDaniel immediately reached out to Tua Tagovailoa. After going through the entire Brian Flores ordeal, Tua was a bit, reserved. Could this guy Mike McDaniel be as genuine and authentic as he seemed on the call? Here's Tua speaking of his initial impression of Mike McDaniel.
But for me, it was more of, oh, cool. Like, don't tell me, like, show me. Like, let's, I think that's what this whole organization is based off of. We're tired of hearing, we're tired of rebuilding. We're tired of doing this, tired of doing that. Like, we want to do it. And I would say that was kind of the things going on in my head throughout our conversation. But I was excited. I didn't know that was his personality always, so that was new for me. I was kind of given some leeway as to, this is how he is right now, but let's just see how this plays out. And I think it's really cool that he never changed throughout the process, going through OTAs, going through training camp, and then up to this point. We've lost a couple games. We got to see how he reacted to those in our team meetings. Same guy. Yeah. And I think that was super cool to see. And there's not any guy on our team that has no trust or no faith in this guy. I would say we're all behind him.
That was very important. You see, it's easy to be upbeat and happy when you're 3-0. But everyone in the locker room undoubtedly wanted to see, how is Mike McDaniel going to handle the adversity of losing 1, 2, 3 games in a row? If you're going to buy into a new coach and his new system, undoubtedly you want to see how that coach performs when things aren't going so well. And it appears that Mike McDaniel passed that test with flying colors. Let's continue breaking this down.
It's interesting you said it's something that you're not used to. Okay, so compare his personality then to what you're used to in a football coach and having a football coach.
Yeah, I'm used to somebody really getting down on me because that's kind of the way my dad coached me, was what he would call tough love. I had that with Coach Saban. We had that with Flo last year. So my perception on what a head coach should be was always, hard, tough, like you got to really work hard in order to find success. But it's pretty cool that there's other ways you can find success, and it's not always, getting down on somebody. This guy's philosophy I think his philosophy is with how he coaches is everyone wants to do good. There's not one guy in the locker room or in this team meeting that is trying to do something bad. So when they do make a mistake, it's not a call out, but it's really just a learning point for everyone to listen that, hey, this guy didn't mean to do that, but if you don't do the things that we work on in practice and that happens, this is the result of that. And I think that's super cool that we see that, and it's not a beat down of plays that you've done wrong, and it doesn't kill the confidence of guys, but it's really like, oh, that does make sense as to why he's saying that. Let me do it this upcoming practice, and see that it really works.
What he just said there is extremely interesting. You see, as a high school coach and as a college coach, part of your job is to take young boys and help mold them into becoming fine young men. We were all a bunch of headstrong BMOC types on campus. Many of us got whatever we wanted, and I do mean anything that we wanted. But Tua's dad and Nick Saban are strong Christian men. People may not like hearing it, but it's the absolute truth. Getting instilled values from Christian men is much different than the values that are instilled from non-Christian men. The tough love approach is indeed that. It's tough love. If you're raised that way, it becomes a part of who you are. However, when you get to the NFL, most of the players make more money than most of the coaches. A head coach in the NFL has to have a completely different approach than that of a college coach. That's why many college coaches don't succeed in the NFL. It's completely different, especially these days. And in this next cut, you can actually see what's going on in Tua's mind as he has to accept that he has to let a play fail. This is something that is going to be critical in his development as an NFL quarterback.
How in reaction has that changed how you, Tua, view the game if for your entire life since Dad coached you, it looked completely different?
Yeah, it's hard for me to break out of old habits that I still have. As far as if I don't put the ball where I want to put it, you know, I'm really adamant about it, and I show it with body language in practice. You know, there's things that I do in practice that I try not to show in the game. I never want to let the guys on the other side see me sweat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say there's still things that I still have that I'm trying to, you know, work out with I guess getting clustered in my mind. You know, just being able to move on to the next play, whatever the next play entails. Just worry about what that is, and every play has well, it stands on its own merit. So whatever happened the play before, don't worry about that. Focus on what's about to happen next.
In this next cut, I had to watch it 3 or 4 times. I want you to pay specific attention to this cut. I think he's revealing something that many of us would have never seen coming.
When you think about some of the things that your parents said to you during that time, their biggest concern, I'm sure, is just the health of our son.
Yeah, that was their biggest concern. My parents they had a lot of things to say to me, you know, prior to the injury, and then things in the hospital, and then after that, and then going through the interview process, going to see second opinion doctors. You know, for me, I love football, you know. I just love it. I love the feeling that it brings. I love that football can help change people's lives. I know people don't see it that way, but for us in the building, we see that, you know, with the kind of energy that, you know, our fans bring, and then the energy that, you know, they go to work the next day with.
Yeah.
You know, we look at things like that as well. And really, I just missed it. You know, I just missed it, missed playing.
Looking at this cut, looking at his face, watching his body language, hearing what his words are, you have to wonder if Tua took a little bit more time coming back from his concussion because he was deciding whether or not he was coming back at all. We'll probably never know. Maria Taylor did a great job in this interview, but she didn't follow up on that. It looks to me like Tua had a very, very tough decision that he had to make. He may have been told by his parents, come on home, don't worry about it, we got you. But Tua, he missed the game. You have to wonder if he was this close to calling it a day. Hope he made the right decision. In this final clip, it seems as though Mike McDaniel, Dan Marino, and everyone he's talked to has given him the same advice. Don't be a hero. Throw the ball away. Kill a play if it's not working. Live to play another down. Listen in closely.
What do you think it'll be like when you run back out of the tunnel and return to the field? How, if in any way, do you think what you've been through with your health concerns is going to affect how you play this game moving forward?
For me, how I look at this game, you know, just thinking of the longevity of me playing, you know, get the ball out. If I'm getting sacked, just fall down, you know, don't try to be the superhero. And that's something that I would say has been wired in me to try to always make something happen. And you know, sometimes the smartest play or the best play is just to throw the ball away and just punt the ball.
100%.
Yeah.
That's it. That's going to be the key to his long-term success. I've said it in a number of videos. If it's not there, kill it. I'd much rather see the Miami Dolphins punt than see Tua Tagovailoa carted off on a stretcher. I know you're going to have thoughts on this. Let me hear your comments. What do you think? Do you think Tua was this close from walking away? It sure seems like it. And if you have time tonight and want to hang out, join me on my live broadcast. Just click this button here. We go live at 8:30. 15 tonight. Thanks for watching. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?